What do I know? I'm just a girl on the internet. Let's just go ahead and skip like that awkward reintroduction where I sit here and apologize for like 5 minutes and say I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded, I haven't recorded, I haven't been consistent. I feel like every time I make my reappearance here on social media, I usually spend the first few minutes of every episode or every video or every vlog and I'm like, I'm so sorry I've been gone, I've been doing this, it's kind of like I don't owe anyone the explanation, and you guys probably don't really want to hear it either. Like, I'm not trying to sound like snarky or anything. It's just like, we get it. Like, life be happening. Sometimes I don't be uploading. Like, it's okay, right? Like, we're cool. We're just gonna like move past it and just pretend like no time has passed. Awesome. That is so great. I'm so happy to see you though. Oddly enough, this morning I've been getting so many text messages for an oral surgery procedure that I am definitely not having. And this like dental office, oral surgeon office keeps blowing up my phone via text telling me to get ready for my appointment. I don't have an appointment. They have the wrong number. I'm trying to tell them and I just feel bad. Please text back C to confirm your appointment on Monday, February 9th at 9 a.m. with this doctor at this oral and facial surgery clinic. Please arrive 30 minutes early. And this is our address. We kindly ask that you let us know 2 business days before if you have to cancel the appointment. Hey, so that's not me. Hey, so I'm actually not the person. They did say the patient name at the start of the text message, which is that kind of like, is that HIPAA low key, right? Like, is that a little like kind of HIPAA like violation? You know what I'm saying? Because you would think they would just be like, hi, comma, please confirm your appointment. But they said the full first and last name. And it's like an automated text, but I sent back, hey, you have the wrong number. Thank you for your message. The office will get in touch with you soon. And then they left a phone number and I called and it was just like ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing and I couldn't get through to anybody. And so I texted again. I was like, you have the wrong number. And then I tried calling again and I can't get through to the office. So Shayna, girl, queen, if you're getting your wisdom teeth taken out on Monday, please go take care of that and call the office because they are not answering me and you accidentally gave them my number and I really don't want you to miss that appointment. Okay, as someone who got their wisdom teeth removed, you're gonna want to get that done. You're gonna want to get that done. Actually, I have no idea if it's wisdom teeth, but that's the only time I've been to an oral surgeon was for my wisdom teeth. Why do we have to do that, by the way? Is that like what? Can any dentist, oral surgeon, anybody out there explain this to you? Like, why is it that we have these like massive teeth in our face, in our skull, and they grow and they come out, and then when you're like somewhere between the ages of like 16 to 25, you're just supposed to get them taken out? What's the point of that? What's the point of that? And you know what? I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to speak my truth on this. I did tell my mom that, hey, like when I go have my wisdom teeth removal surgery, I think we should record myself. I think you should record me after the appointment because you just never know. Am I going to be hilarious? Am I going to be ridiculous? Like, what's that post-op, like coming off sedation going to be like? I was actually fully convinced that if it was entertaining enough, it could land me on Ellen. Because that was back in the time frame where anything that you did online, even a little bit, could have landed you a spot on the Ellen show. So I thought for sure at like the ripe age of 19, I missed a day of college. I went to my appointment and I was not faking my symptoms after coming off the anesthesia, but I was certainly very loopy. I was like crying a lot, just like kind of a mess. I remember I was wearing a little Batman t-shirt. Never seen Batman in my life, but thought the shirt was cool. So I had that. And I remember telling my mom before the appointment, I was like, I need you to set up your phone in the car and record me. Because if something funny happens, I'm going to be on Ellen and I'm going to win this family $1 million. She's just going to be like, Kayla, oh my God, you're so funny. Look at this video clip of you getting your wisdom teeth out. Here's $1 million and a new car for your family. Like that, I was actually convinced that maybe could have possibly happened. And when it didn't, imagine my disappointment. Imagine my disappointment when I actually wasn't funny enough to be on the Ellen show. Anyways, wisdom teeth removal surgery. Why do we do that? What's the point? Why grow thing in my head if thing have to just come out later? You know what I'm saying? Same with tonsils. Like I have my tonsils still. Is that like a bad thing? what's the other thing? Adenoids? All these like things within your throat, mouth, face, nose. Like, why do those have to come out? I don't actually understand. Maybe I'll just like do a episode one day of Girl on the Internet podcast where I just Google things that I've been thinking about, because I feel like I always have a lot of questions, and I feel like they just don't get answered all the time because I just am a very questionable person. I always have lots of questions for people and things, and I think that's a good thing to have. I think you should question things, by the way. In case you missed it, yesterday was Groundhog's Day, and little Punxsutawney Phil did in fact see a shadow. So there are going to be 6 more weeks of winter, which is crazy. And you know what's funny is I was having a conversation with Chris the other day, and he was just like, I don't get the big deal about Groundhog's Day. And I was like, first of all, don't disrespect Punxsutawney Phil like that. He's like, but if the sun's out, like, isn't he just going to see a shadow? And you know what? I think there should be more respect for Punxsutawney Phil. Okay, it's a big deal. Groundhog Day is like the silliest, cutest little holiday ever. Why not? Why would we not put our faith in a rodent instead of really highly educated meteorologists? I think it's hilarious, okay? And here's the thing. Over the weekend, it snowed an insane amount of snow here, at least here in North Carolina. I think over a lot of places on the East Coast, but especially where I live in North Carolina, like snow I have not seen since I was a child. I'm talking like 7 inches of snow. It was fluffy. It was snowing all day. It didn't just like melt in 5 hours after it hit the ground. Like there's still snow outside. I can see outside of the townhouse right now, and there is still snow on the ground, and it's like really crazy to see that because I have not seen something like that since I was a child. And can I just say I love snow? It makes me feel very like nostalgic and happy, and it's lovely. Okay, now I love a southern snow. Let me mark my words. Every time I say I love snow, someone in the vicinity who's from the North or the Midwest, they're like, do you really like snow? Do you really like it? Because come live up north. Okay, it's awful. Yeah, I like southern snow. I like just a little bit of snow, maybe every other year, every other 2 to 3 years. A little dusting of snow, school gets canceled, work gets canceled, everyone panic buys milk and bread. I love it. Okay, I would not want to live up north or in the Midwest where there's a potential for snow all the time and you have to like still be a functioning member of society and trek to work in like 2 feet of snow. That's not my vibe. When I say I like snow, I mean I like a southern snow, and I stand on business when I say that. But I will say this was a really incredible amount of snow. Wonderful snowstorm. It's been so beautiful. I took so many great photos. I'm just like, it definitely made me feel very giddy and very nostalgic to my childhood, because I feel like as a kid it snowed a bunch. I guess that was, before climate change. But yeah, I feel like I have a lot of childhood photos where it's snowing and I'm enjoying the snow. So I love it. Anyways, so yes, elephant in the room is that I have not recorded, filmed, upload a podcast episode in quite some time. And a lot has happened in the last several months. I think the last time, if I remember correctly, I think the last time I recorded and uploaded an episode is when Taylor Swift announced Life of a Showgirl. I don't even think the album was out yet. I think she had just went on the New Heights podcast and announced that the album was coming. So it's definitely been a little bit of time. And a lot has happened in the last few months. And I feel like in a way, having not uploaded in so long, I feel like I have kind of compiled stories and things. And I've just thought of different topics to talk about. And I've brainstormed things. And I'm just kind of excited to jump back into the podcast and just share a lot with you guys. And in the time that I have been gone, so a couple of months, I turned 30 in December. My 30th birthday has come and gone. I'm now 30 years old, which is still really weird to say out loud. I don't feel all that different, but it's just like, oh, I'm 30. And I think too, I think back to being a kid, like any younger childhood age of myself, I just thought about what it would be like to be an adult, to have a job, to have a car, to have a life, a boyfriend, a husband, or whoever. And I think back to childhood a lot, thinking 30 was so old, so mature, so distinguished, so put together. 30 is just really displayed as just like big turning point for so many young adults. And I'm here to tell you that when you turn 30, it's really not all that different. I still feel 16 sometimes. I have hobbies of like an 87-year-old. Like it's just a weird time. And since I've turned 30, I've obviously done a lot of reflecting. I reflect on every birthday that I have. I've always been somebody that, even if birthday aside, like I love to journal and write things down and just reflect on life and think about things. And I'm nostalgic and I'm sentimental, and I'm constantly like, my brain's just always like doing mental gymnastics to think about just life and just existing basically. And of course, 30 is a fairly big milestone, and it's like a really big milestone birthday. I think the last sort of big milestone birthday is probably 21, maybe 25 if you're like, oh, you're halfway through your 20s. So 21 was like the last big one, and now it's 30. And then I look at 30 and I'm like, there's really not another big milestone until like 40 or 50 or whatever. So I've just been doing a lot of thinking, and I decided to compile a list of 30 things that I learned by 30. And I'm a big fan of these little trends. I did one when I turned 20. I shared it to my Facebook of all places. I did not have like a social media presence at the time, or else I probably would have made like a YouTube video about it. But I did share my 20 things by 20 list to my Facebook. I thought it was so fun just to see in 20 years what I had learned. I then turned 25, and that's when I was on YouTube, and I did film a sort of creative, very like cinematic video of 25 things I learned by 25. That is still up on my channel. My channel is just my name, Kayla Nelson. So you can go check that out if you want. I have not watched that video in a super long time, so I have no idea if some of what I'm going to share today is similar or different than that video. But yeah, I think it's just like a really fun thing to look back on life and think about things that you've learned, or things that you want to do, or things that you're looking forward to. Like, it's just such a privilege to live and to exist. And not every day is the most exciting thing in the world, and like all these cool, amazing, fun things are happening. Like majority of your days of the week, of the month are just like, oh, I'm going to work, I'm doing chores, I'm making dinner, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing this. Like there's not like life every single day isn't meant to be just all this excitement and chaos and crazy. And I think that's kind of the beauty of life, is to kind of find things within those moments that make you excited about life and make you sort of have this will to live, basically. So I just am a very, like happy to be alive kind of person. Life is so crazy. Like, do you ever look in the mirror sometimes and you're like, that's me. I'm a real human being that walks the earth. I exist. One time I didn't exist. I exist now, and then I'm going to not exist again at some point. It's just like, what? It's crazy. I mean, I could yap for a very long time about the concept of existing and existence, but we're not going to get into that today because that would be a lot. But without further ado, I figured my first episode back would be sharing 30 things that I have learned by 30. This is sort of a condensed list. I feel like I've learned probably 22,000 things since I've turned 30. But I'm just going to share with you my little condensed list. Some things will be pretty quick, and then other things I'm going to explain a little bit. So let's jump into it. The first thing I learned by turning 30 is that 30 is not old. So stop freaking out. Truly, when you look at life, like from the time you're born to like, 3, 4, 5, you really don't have a lot of consciousness. You're just kind of like existing. Okay, just follow me for a second here. And then when you get to elementary school, you sort of start becoming self-aware. You like realize you're a person, you learn right from wrong, but you don't have a lot of freedom. Like you're not driving yourself to the grocery store. You're not buying groceries at 10 years old. I guess I should say most people aren't. You don't have financial responsibility. You don't pay taxes. Like you're not working. Like you're just kind of existing under the threshold of parents, of caregivers, of whoever, right? So thinking 10 years of your life, from birth to 10 years, you're just kind of existing. You don't really have a big place in society yet. That's 10 full years. 10 years ago, I was 20. A lot has happened from 20 to 30, but like not all that much other than just basic development happens from like birth to 10. Those are 10 very different complex, separate years. So just stick with me. And then you enter your teens, 15, 16, 17, and you obviously start becoming a bit more of a person of society. You might be driving, you might, eventually start voting, you probably have a job, like things are happening. You're thinking about what do I want to do with my future. At 18, when you're in high school and they're like, hey, you should probably think about what you want to do for the rest of your life or what college you want to go to, that's a lot of pressure for someone who's really only existed for like a handful of years, right? Because when you're 12, you're not really like deeply processing what you want to do for the rest of your life. So it's almost like those first 10, 12, 13 years they're not for nothing, but you're just, other than just developing and existing and growing, there's not like a whole lot of complex thought that's happening in that timeline. So I think when you turn 20, you are a literal baby. And that is my hot take. Obviously, this is not a blanket statement. Everyone has a different life. Some people are forced into adulthood way earlier than others. Some people experience things in their childhood that force them to grow up, or they have traumatic experiences and they feel very adult-like at a very, very young age. So I'm just kind of speaking generally that at 20, you are a baby, at least in my opinion, because the last 10 years, you've just been sort of becoming a person. Like you might just be leaving your parents' house at 20. You might be going to college and leaving, the normalcy of everyday life at 20. Like, does that make sense? Like, am I just yapping into existence, or like, are you guys with me on that? I just feel 20, 22, 24, like those are all such young baby ages. Like you're really just experiencing life for the first time without, living under your parents' roof or having to, get approval with everything you do or anything like that. And I just think that's crazy. Like we're expected at such a young age to be an adult and make decisions and vote and get a job and all these other things. And it's like, when you think about it, like 25 is just so baby. You've just barely experienced life on your own only for a few years. I don't know. That's just my hot take. Like I said, I could go on and on about that. But fast forward to 30, I'm just now like really getting used to being an adult. And that might be weird or stupid to say, but like 30 is like, okay, I'm finally processing what it's like to be an adult. Because even in the last 10 years, I still legally began to drink in the last 10 years, 21, right? Like that's crazy. So at 30, it's not that old. I still have a lot of time left, God willing, that, nothing crazy happens. But 30 is just, I also still feel is like so young. Like that's why I'm like, I'm literally just a girl at 30. Like I'm a teenage girl at 30 and I stand on that. I think about TV shows like Friends, Sex and the City, different shows like that, where their lives are really just beginning in their mid to late 20s and into their 30s. And I love that, honestly. I think there's so much pressure to be so grown and so fulfilled, and so many crazy things have happened in your life in your 20s, when like 30s is like, I'm feeling good about 30. Like this is like where things are starting. And it is in no means like you're going downhill now, or like you've peaked in age and you're old now. Like that's insane to me. So 30 is not old. My second thing I've learned by 30, I feel like this really goes without saying, but I just wanted to throw it on my list, is take photos, take videos, write things down, keep a journal, keep a diary. I do a 5-year journal. I love those. I obviously take photos and videos of things all the time. Why not? Like live in the moment, but also have those memories so you can look back one day and be like, my God, I loved those moments of my life. Number 3 is that 2 things can be true at once. And this was something that I feel like I've always known deep down, but it really hit into my 20s. And now that I'm in my 30s, it's like, okay, that makes total sense. I've learned this through therapy. I learned this through losing my mom. I learned this through meeting Chris. I have learned this at work. 2 things can be true at one time, for whatever that is. Human beings are such complex creatures, and the human mind and the human emotion is all just so vast and so complex, and we are not meant to streamline one emotion or one thought or one thing all the time. Chances are there's a million things running through your head at any given point of the day, of the week, of the month. And I know for someone like me, it was a really hard pill to swallow for me to realize that 2 things could be true at one time. It was kind of like if I was dealing with something that made me mad and frustrated and upset, like that's where I had to live for however long it took. I wasn't allowed to also be happy or laugh or experience other things in the moments of anger, when that's not true. You are allowed to feel 2 things at once. 2 things can be true at once. And that's just like a true life lesson that I have learned. And honestly, my biggest example of that is being the saddest I've ever been in my entire life when my mom died. Like truly ripping my heart out, gut-wrenching, just despair and pain and sadness. That was true. I was feeling all those things when she died. And at the same time, in that same year later, by total happenstance and just like fate or whatever, I met Chris. And Chris has made me the happiest person ever. Like, I have never been happier in my life. And at the same time, I was happy with Chris. I was devastated because of losing my mom. And it was really a weird place to be feeling both. And I was like, this isn't okay. Like, how can I be mourning the loss of my mom, but also be happy in a relationship? And that's when it hit me that two things can be true at once. Number 4 is that being healthy is a privilege and you should absolutely not take it for granted. And whatever way that means, whether it's moving your body, whether it's eating well, whether it's taking care of your physical appearance, your mental health, your insides, your outside, whatever that looks like for you. I've worked in healthcare over 7 years. I watched my mom, who was otherwise healthy, get sick and pass away. And I've seen people in healthcare where they're living their normal life and one mistake or one illness or one thing can change their life forever. Or I've seen people who become bedbound, or I've seen people lose limbs or their ability to be independent again. And that is such a wild thing to experience and to see and to witness and to be around. And it just reminds me every day that your health and your well-being and your physical and mental abilities are so important. And for what it's worth, take care of yourself for the best that you are able to do. Number 5 of 30 things that I've learned by 30 is that no one has your back like you. You can have best friends, significant others, family, and they might all love and support you and they would do anything for you. But at the end of the day, no one has your back like you. And I've said that on this podcast before, and I will scream it from the rooftops. But every single night when you lay down, when your head hits that pillow, it is you. It is just yourself. You live with you and you die with you, and it's just you forever. People are going to come and go in your life. You're going to experience things. You're going to have family and friends, and just so much is going to happen. But it is you that you wake up with every day and you that you go to sleep with every single night. So you have to have your back. And also, no one's going to have your back like you. So that means advocating for yourself, standing up for yourself, doing the right thing when it makes sense. That means taking care of yourself. That means not fully being codependent or relying on somebody else for literally everything. Like, you have to learn to trust yourself at some point. Number 6 is that you don't need to buy into every trend, whatever that is, especially with social media nowadays. Everything is viral. The viral this, the viral that, the hot this, the 1 in a million this, the sought after that. Like, you don't have to buy everything. Where are all those Labubus now, by the way? The thing that I talked about like 6 months ago. Like, where are everybody's Labubus that they were so obsessed with? You know, you don't have to buy the coolest, trendiest perks because it's hot right now. You don't have to give into every little outfit trend or makeup trend. Like, you really don't. You really don't. It's wasteful. It's bad for the environment. It's peak consumerism. You don't have to fall for every trend. I've been very guilty of falling for trends and buying things that I don't need to, but I'm getting to that point now in my 30s. I'm like, I want longevity. I want things that are going to last. I don't want to just buy into a trend. I don't want to have the same thing that like literally everybody else has. Like, that's just boring to me. And I'm just not about it anymore. I'm just not about it. Number 7 is standing up for yourself. And that goes similarly to no one has your back like you, but standing up for yourself is so damn important. Even if it's something small as the barista got your coffee order wrong. You don't have to be a dick, but all you have to do is stand up for yourself and be like, oh, I'm sorry, actually, this is not what I ordered. Or like, oh, this is incorrect or whatever. Like, standing up for yourself it does wonders for your mental health, for your confidence, for your ability to just show up as yourself. It improves how you see yourself, how you navigate relationships and friendships, how you perform at work. I swear by this because I was somebody for majority of my life who didn't stand up for themselves. I always kept quiet. I didn't clap back. I didn't argue with people. I did not stir the pot. I didn't, if someone wronged me, I didn't do anything about it. If anything was wrong, a food order, anything, like I just did not ever say anything. anything. And I'm so past that now because it's like, what do I have to lose by standing up for myself? Like, admit my wrongs, admit my faults, but if something is wrong or done incorrectly or poorly or wrongly to me, I need to fix it. I need to stand up for myself and I need to fix it. And there's nothing wrong with doing that if you're kind about it. No one said you have to be an asshole to the barista, and you shouldn't be, for the record. But if something isn't right, you're allowed to say something. And I think too, as women especially, it's just so easy to be like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. But no, like, stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself, please. Number 8 is that romantic relationships are not hard if you're with the right person. That's all I really have to say on that one. I thought romance and relationships or marriages or whatever were something that were things that were going to be complicated, messy, hard, terrible, hot and cold. But turns out relationships are actually really awesome and wonderful when you're with the right person. Relationships shouldn't be hard. Life is hard. Relationships should not be hard. Life is hard. Navigating things that happen in this crazy world are hard and stressful, but your relationship shouldn't be. The 9th thing on this list is it's okay to go no contact with people. This has a very take it or leave it sort of meaning. If there is a friend in your life that is just kind of no good, if they talk shit about everybody, if they're not supportive of you and the things that you love, the things that you're trying to do, if they are kind of shady, you don't have to be in contact with them. You don't even have to have like a friendship breakup. You can just like literally not talk to them. You really don't have to. You don't have to invite them to your birthday. You don't have to invite them to different things. You can just slowly distance yourself from them. You're allowed to do that. And same with family. I think that is a difficult thing to process, especially when you think, well, family is my blood. It's like my relatives. Like, how would I ever, go no contact with people? But if you need to distance yourself and go no contact, you are absolutely allowed to do that. There's no rule book in life that says you can't do that. You absolutely can. If that protects your peace or your mental health or your well-being or the well-being of you, your children, your spouse, your significant other, whatever it is, you are absolutely allowed to do it. And you should probably go with your gut on that. If you're thinking about, do I want to go no contact with this person or do I want to stop talking to them? You should probably go and listen to your gut because it's probably telling you something very, very truthful. Number 10 is to send people cards or gifts just because. I love to do this. One of my love languages is gift giving. It does not have to be these big, expensive, lavish gifts. Sending somebody a card or literally just like a literal piece of notebook paper with just, hey, I'm thinking of you, I love you, whatever sentiment you want to write on it, and sending that to somebody is so fun. It is just so fulfilling. It's a fun thing to do. It lets the person know you're thinking of them. And it's also just like really nice to get a card in the mail or wherever you want to leave it for somebody. I lived at home during college and all my best friends went away for college, either out of state or they just went like far away. And I remember just like I would send them care packages from time to time, just like little things that might be helpful for them or things that made me think of them. And it was always really fun to do. And I still do that to this day just for people in my life because it's fun. And it's such a sweet gesture. The 11th thing on my list of 30 things that I've learned by 30 is that, especially in your 20s, you're going to change every few years. And that's okay. You're allowed to outgrow things. You're allowed to change. Things are going to be different. I used to say all the time, like, oh my gosh, the person I was at 20 is not the person I am at 25. And that's still true to this day. And I even think now, like the person I am now in my 30s, like at 30 years old, is not the same person I was when I was 27, not the person I was at 29. Like, it's okay that even if like in 6 months you change a little bit, if you lose interest in something, if you fall out of love with something or someone, or it's okay. Like, that is life. Life is ever evolving, ever changing. I mentioned it already, like humans are so complex and ever changing. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be like, oh, I don't like that thing anymore. Or that's not my favorite color or my favorite band, or I don't like this tattoo anymore. Or I don't like this. And like, that's okay. Like, you will change and it's okay to accept that change and just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. It's not a bad thing to have change or to change into a different person. I think we should accept that change and go forth with it and see what happens. 12 is clothing sizes and scale numbers aren't the most important thing. and you should just go off of how you feel. If I could drill this into my 16-year-old self, I would. As somebody who just grew up with lots of disordered eating and really negative body image issues, as I'm sure most women do experience at some point or another, it so doesn't fucking matter. My God, who cares if you are a size 6 jeans or a size 16? It literally doesn't matter. I used to just deal with so much shame and embarrassment looking at clothes at the stores and being like, you know, oh my God, I am a size 8 or whatever I was at the time. It literally doesn't matter. It's just a number thing that identifies a size of what you're wearing for the masses. Like they have to have some kind of numerical system for the pants to fit. You know, it's like, it's so not. But you know, I blame that early 2000s culture where you grew up looking at those magazines where it showed really thin supermodels and celebrities. And they're like, oh my gosh, has this person gained weight? Look at the flab on this singer. And it's like, what are we doing? Like talking about women's bodies like this all the time. Like that's kind of criminal in a way. And there's always this standard of like, women need to be small and not weigh a whole lot, and they need to be this or be that. And like, oh, well, when I got married, I was 110 pounds. Okay, that's great, Nancy. I was 110 pounds in like the second grade. But like, really, it's so not that deep. How do you feel? I don't think that's an excuse to be massively, severely overweight if you can prevent that. But like, how do you feel? How do you feel waking up every day? How does it feel to go to the gym, to stretch, to tie your shoes? Like, how are those things? Everything else doesn't matter. I don't fuck with BMI. I don't care. I don't really weigh myself unless I have to. It's so not about what these numbers are. Like, I don't care anymore. If I wear an extra large, I wear an extra large. If I wear a size whatever, 12, then I wear a size 12. Like, I don't, so? Like, that's literally how I feel at this point at 30. I'm like, so? Like, I used to be embarrassed to do anything. Like, literally recently went on a group friend trip with Chris and some of his friends, and they asked like what our t-shirt sizes were for like fun little t-shirts. And I think I was like extra large. And mind you, my boyfriend is smaller than me, and that's okay. And he sent out like medium. Like it's just a word. It's literally not that deep. It's just not. And I never thought I'd make it to this point in my life to not care about that, because my God, majority of my life was very much concerned with the number on a scale, the size that my bra was, the size that my pants were, a dress size. I remember prom dress shopping was a fucking nightmare because I was like, what size? I'm what? And I look back at my high school prom photos and I'm like little. Like it's just silly. It doesn't matter. Just go off of how you feel. And, every once in a while, go to the doctor and make sure like all your blood levels and things are still internally healthy. Again, this is not an excuse to like just let yourself go entirely, but go off how you feel because the rest really doesn't matter. I promise. 13 is that opting for luxury or convenience or experience is worth every single penny once in a while. I sort of grew up in a household where money was talked about pretty frequently. By no means did I grow up in like low income or like struggling to get our next meal or anything, but it was money was talked about a lot. So there was a lot of pressure growing up to be mindful of where every single penny goes and to never waste it and to never, do this and think about how certain things are a waste of money. And I'm getting to that point now where I'm like, that is still important. Like, obviously, like one day I'd like to retire and have money for a house or whatever, but also like, we're not going to live forever. You can't take money to the grave. And it's actually not a problem. It's actually so not a problem. It's like the opposite of a problem. So splurging once in a while is totally fine. Like it really is not a big deal. You're allowed to stay in like a little bit more of an expensive hotel because you just want a nicer experience. It's okay if you want to fly first class every so often just because you want a bigger seat and a more spacious trip. It's okay. It's okay to buy the more expensive luggage because it's going to last you longer. Like you're allowed to spend money on things for the experience, the convenience, or the luxury of it all. It's okay. You actually don't have to do the cheapest thing all the time. because again, you're not going to die with your money. You'll retire eventually, but like the $8 coffee that you got because you were just really feeling it is not going to make or break your future of investing or retiring. Very similarly, number 14 is get massages and facials. When I got old enough to get my very first massage, I was like, oh, so this is not actually like this like luxurious, expensive, crazy thing. This is actually like normal. Like I work hard. I have a job where it's physically demanding. I work out. My body's under stress. I'm allowed to go get my tension taken away. I'm allowed to go get like a nice, soothing, calming massage. Like I take that into like getting a massage is like working out. Getting a massage is like eating well. Like a massage is just something that you should throw into your routine because why would you not want to take care of yourself and feel good? Like I grew up thinking massages and facials were like these like really luxurious activities that cost a lot of money and like only rich people get that. But like that's not true. Like, obviously there are some massages and facials that could be like really expensive, but I'm just talking about like Joe Schmo regular folk like you and me. So yeah, go get the facial, go get the massage. You're going to feel amazing. It's going to be such a calming, relaxing experience. It's incredible. And you probably deserve it. To some capacity, you probably deserve it. So you should absolutely go get them. That's not a luxury to do that. It should be part of like your self-care routines. Just saying. The 15th thing of my 30 things I've learned by 30 is learning to say, oh, well, more often. I think I can contribute this to some of the antidepressants that I take. Just letting certain things roll off your back and not letting it keep you up at night or consume your mind with stress and just be like, oh, well. And obviously that like applies to certain things. Like you don't need to say, oh, well, to like really important, serious topics and serious things that are happening. But for like the small things, when they don't work out, when something doesn't happen, if you lose something that's not super important to you, or you misplace an item and you can't find it, or your screen protector breaks on your phone, oh, well, like certain things are just not that deep. And I think we should just be saying, oh, well, a little bit more often and just stop sweating things so much. Like I have just loved this like new mentality of me being like, oh, well, like, why am I going to stress about this? It's not that deep. It's okay. Oh, well. Or if something doesn't work out, if I don't get the job that I applied for, interviewed for, if I don't get invited to something I thought I was going to get invited to, if plans get canceled, oh well, it's just how I feel. Number 16 is spend time with your parents and ask them questions. I understand some people don't speak with their parents or whatever, but this could apply to anyone in your life that means something to you. A caregiver, a parent, a sibling, a relative, anybody that just means something to you, because they're not going to be around forever. And I speak this, obviously, having lost my mom. I'm grateful for every moment I had with her where I asked her about her childhood or school or growing up or stories from her young adulthood or whatever. I love every single moment I spent with her, talking to her about her life and asking questions, because it's your parents' first time living too. It is. They might have more years of experience under their belt, but it's their first time existing as well. And I think it's so wonderful to hear their stories, their experiences, bits of their life. If they want to share things about you when you were a baby or growing up or anything like that. So just really cherish those moments with your family. Again, I think parents specifically, but anyone that means something to you, make sure you really give them that time, a grandparent, aunt, uncle, anybody, because they're not going to be around forever. And that is something that is very close and personal to me after losing my mom. Number 18 is to prioritize communication. I have a whole podcast episode on communication, and I could make 10 more podcast episodes on communication. Out of all the things that you can do on a day-to-day basis, in your relationships, in your friendships, in your job, in anything, is just communicate. Work on being better at communicating, whether that's over text, whether that's in a conversation, whether that's in person. Communication is the key to so many important things in life. And if you can really just tweak how you communicate with people, your life is going to be so much better. Sitting down with your partner at the end of the day and asking them how their day was. And then what would you like to work on through the rest of this week? What should we do for the weekend? How are you feeling about our relationship? Is there anything I can do differently? Open communication and discussion is just so damn important. And communication is so relevant for every single area of life. Even when you go up to, I always like reference like coffee, but I feel like coffee shops have a lot of metaphors. But you go up to the barista at the coffee counter, and if you're not communicating clearly, you're on the phone, you're trying to order your coffee, you're talking to the person on the phone, you're trying to talk to the barista. If the barista is not understanding you clearly, if you're not communicating clearly, your order is probably going to be wrong. Something's going to get messed up. Your barista might get upset with you. Like, put the phone away for 5 seconds, have clear communication, and it's going to solve a lot of the problems that you could just inevitably avoid. Sitting around with your friends, with your girlfriends, communicating, talking about life or dreams or hopes or goals that you have, or talking about experiences. Communication is key. Communication is key. My next one, this is a little NSFW, but guess what? I'm 30 now. So come on, like certain things are going to be talked about, okay? For anybody, but especially for the ladies, get yourself a good vibrator or a good sex toy, okay? And just learn how to orgasm, okay? If you are exclusively waiting for a partner to give you an orgasm, then you've waited too long. You need to take some time for yourself and get to know yourself really well. And that could be with a vibrator or a sex toy, okay? If you don't have at least one by the time you turn 30, you have some homework to do. Because I think everybody, I'm speaking for women because I'm a woman, I'll speak for women. You need a vibrator. You just do. You just need something in your nightstand, okay? That's all I'm going to say. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to have pleasure. And when you get into a relationship or have someone that can help you experience that, that's great. But what can you do for yourself? 30 things I learned by 30. Number 19 is that a lot of your problems are small. Turning on the news, doom scrolling, so much of what's happening in life right now, I look back and I realize my problems are very small. I do not need to cry over spilt milk. I don't need to be upset over little tiny things that literally don't matter and aren't going to matter in a week or a month or anything like that. And it's just truly sitting down at the end of the day and realizing like my problems are small. And it's not to say my problems don't matter because they're small. It's just that they're small. And I should be grateful that the problems that I'm facing are not these catastrophic, life-changing things that are really detrimental to my life. I'm grateful for small problems. Number 20 is don't ignore your inner child. The older I'm getting, the more connected I feel to my inner child. And I think that could be something to do with my mom passing as well. But looking at old childhood photos, looking at my old little childhood like journals and notebooks and just toys and things like that, I just love to embrace my childhood self so much. Whether it's watching like my old favorite Disney movie or listening to music that I listened to as a kid or getting into a hobby or a craft or something that I did as a kid, like your inner child still lives within you and you should absolutely dedicate some time to your childhood self and just spend time with your childhood self, whatever that means, whether it's, again, a craft, an activity, a song, like anything that can just bring you back to that moment, because they still live within you and they're a big part of who you are. So don't neglect your inner child. 21 is to do things by yourself. I spent a lot of my young adulthood not in a relationship, alone, single. I lived alone for a while, and I would not trade that for the world. It taught me so much. I learned so much about myself. It encouraged me to find my own independence and to not just like seek validation in somebody else, and also to be comfortable to take chances for myself or to go eat alone in a restaurant by myself or do things alone, and realize that I do have the capacity to do things by myself and it's going to be okay if that is the case. So just doing more things by yourself. It can be very fun and very enjoyable to get to know yourself better and do things alone, and just taking those moments for yourself and having those moments by yourself as well. 22 is that dieting is never worth it. If you remember Carb Free Kayla, then you know what I'm talking about. And listen, I just took my frontal lobe to develop to really understand, okay? Now, if you're doing something for your health because some of your lab work or your blood pressure is not in a great place, by all means do it. Take care of yourself. But otherwise, Zoodles are not pasta. Okay, they're not. Cauliflower rice is not rice. It's just not. Just eat the regular thing. You're gonna be okay. Food being enjoyable is so much more of a good experience than eating a sugar-free chocolate cake. Okay, you don't need all that fake sugar anyways. Trust. 23 is don't settle and never lower your expectations. You might have people in your ear telling you that your standards are too high or that you're asking for too much, but I can guarantee that you are not. If you've had like an honest look in the mirror and conversation with yourself and you've really thought about the things that you are wanting or you're needing, you're probably not having high standards. You just have a standard that hasn't been met for you, and that is okay. So don't settle. The boyfriend that I have right now, Chris, is so wonderful that I would have kicked myself in the ass had I settled for anything less. And in the past, I had settled for less. I had been with some men that did like literally the bare minimum, and I was like, my God, they're the best thing ever. Don't settle. Do not settle. If what you're dealing with right now, relationship, work, job, school, whatever it is something you're with right now and it just doesn't meet your expectation, keep fighting for the thing that you want. Keep fighting for your expectations and never lower your standards. Number 24 is it's cool to care and it's cool to give your opinions. This goes for anything, politics being the first of them. Please don't think it's cool to be like, I'm not interested in politics. It's just messy and I don't really want to get involved with all that and it just doesn't really apply to me. Hey, so it actually does apply to you. It applies to you. It applies to your friends, to your neighbors, to your family, to your future children if you decide to have them. It impacts everything you do. Politics and the things that are happening in current events and in life. And it's cool to care. Do not be this completely tone deaf human being that just doesn't care and doesn't speak on anything and doesn't say anything about anything ever. You should absolutely care. And it's cool to care and it's cool to be present and be a part of things that matter. Number 25 of 30 things that I learned by 30, sweet treat. Always. You're always allowed to have a little ice cream after dinner, a little something sweet after dinner. Get the damn sweet treat. Get the damn sweet treat. 26 is stop saving everything for a special occasion. Living is the special occasion. To me, this was something I dealt with as a kid. I think some people can relate to this. Like, remember as a child when you would get stickers and you would like not use the stickers and not put them on anything because you'd be like, I don't know what to put them on. It's so permanent. If I take the sticker out of the sticker book and put it on a thing, it's so permanent. It's a big decision. I don't know what to do. What if I waste a sticker? What if I don't like the placement of the sticker? What if I don't want it on that thing anymore? Just put the sticker on something. Just put the sticker on something. Just spray the perfume, wear the nice outfit, wear the cute shoes, wear the bag that you're saving for a special occasion. Like, living is the special occasion. You do not have to save your super fancy expensive perfume for the one really nice date night that you might get this year. Girl, spray that on before you go to bed and smell good while you're going to bed. Like, it's fine. You don't have to have all these big things that you just save for these like so-called special big occasions. Of course, it's okay to have a few things. Like maybe there is one pair of heels that you like only wear on actual certain special occasions. Like that's fine. But don't save everything you have for what you think is going to be a special occasion. Like literally living and existing is a special occasion. Don't just, I think perfume is like my adult version of stickers. As a kid, I would not put stickers on anything, and I had so many untouched sticker books because I was just like, what do I put the sticker on? I don't know. And now, like, as an adult, like, perfumes are my stickers. Like, I'm like, I don't want to spray the perfume. I don't want to waste it on a trip to the store. Girl, why not? Why not smell good? It doesn't, like, you're not wearing that to, like, impress people. You're, like, wearing it because it smells good, and it's, like, a extension of you. Like, spray the perfume, go to the store. Like, that's why I like to wear cute outfits now, because I'm like, I'll just save the cute outfit for like another time. What other time than now, girl? Wear the cute outfit. Do it and stop saving these things for like things that you think are going to happen when like life is happening now and you should just wear them. Duh. Number 27 is ask questions. Didn't I like start this podcast by saying ask questions, or I like to ask questions? I love to ask questions. The more informed you are, the cooler you are, I promise. It doesn't mean you have to be a know-it-all about every single topic ever, but like ask questions. I love to ask people questions about their job, their life, their hobbies, things that they enjoy doing, things that bring them joy, things that they're afraid of. Like ask people questions, but then also ask questions. When I'm at work in healthcare, if I'm with somebody else in a different service line, like a respiratory therapist or a phlebotomist or something, I love to ask them questions like, what does this mean? Or how do you do this? Or how do you know that this is happening when this is happening? Like ask people questions. The more you know about things in life, whether that be things that are useful in terms of like skills or mechanics or whatever, like ask questions. It's cool to know things. It's cool to be involved, and it's cool to have like things to discuss later in life. And you're like, oh my gosh, I learned this cool thing because I asked a question. Like asking questions is hot. I'm just saying. 28 is the person that talks shit about everyone is definitely talking shit about you. That explains itself. But if the person is always talking shit about somebody else when they're with you or anyone else, and you're like, oh, well, they're talking shit about every other person ever, but they're definitely not talking shit about me. Girl, yes, they are. Yes, they are. I promise you they are. I promise you they are. I'm not going to get into it, but they are. 29 is keep some sort of memorabilia box. Keep things stored that are sentimental to you. Keep the movie ticket stub. Keep the concert stub. Keep a handwritten note. Keep your childhood blanket, childhood teddy bear. Keep things that matter to you. I love having boxes of things that just mean so much to me and just hold so much sentimental value. I love looking back on it. I can't wait to look back on these things in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. I will hold on to every card I've ever been given from somebody. Just hold on to memories, keep them, put them in a box, put them in storage. Keep things that mean things to you, especially if it has people's handwriting on them or just anything. Like it's okay to be sentimental. It's okay to hold on to those things, and you absolutely should. Like it's such a sweet thing to have. It's memories, it's joy, it's just great. And last but not least, number 30 on my 30 things that I've learned by 30 list is that the sun will always come up. I have learned this life lesson many different times in my life. I hate that majority of the things on my list I unfortunately have related to the loss of my mom, but losing a parent or losing someone really important to you will open your eyes and really make you think about the things that are important in life and the things that actually matter and things that are important. And the sun will come up is just something that I had said to myself many times after she passed. Life was hard. Life was awful. Life felt impossible. It still does from time to time. But I always remind myself that the sun will come up. On my worst days, when things don't happen the way I wanted them to, when things don't go according to plan, when things aren't panning out how I want them to, when I'm having a rough day, when I'm having a sad day, when something bad is happening on TV, when I'm upset, when I cry, when anything happens, I remind myself that the sun will always come up. It doesn't matter how bad something is. It's not going to linger and haunt you forever because there's going to be a new day. The sun will come up. The day will be different, and you have the opportunity to move forward. It doesn't mean you can't have emotions and live in those sad, dark places if you need to, but just know that one bad day is not a bad lifetime. One bad day is not a bad week. One bad day is one bad day. And sometimes one bad day is just one bad hour too. Doesn't always necessarily mean a full day. And the sun will come up. That saying got me through COVID. It got me through the loss of my mom. It got me through a lot of things so far in my life. And it just truly is a reminder that even on the worst, darkest, most awful days, we don't have a lot of guarantees in life, but we can be guaranteed that the sun will come up the next day. Like things will turn, things have the opportunity to get better. You can only go up from rock bottom, but knowing that the sun will come up is words that I live by, and I love it. I definitely feel like I've learned so many more things in 30, so I try to condense it, and I tried to make that list not super cheesy, like live, laugh, love often, whatever. I tried not to make it super cliche and cheesy, but maybe it was. I don't know. But those are 30 things that I've learned by 30. I just want to thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you are coming back to this podcast because you saw that I uploaded and you're like, no way, she uploaded, that's crazy. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys so much for joining me for this podcast. It's just so fun to have this little part of my life be online and sharing it with you. So thanks for listening. I'll be here. I'll be around. Maybe not every single week, but I intend to be here a bit more consistently moving forward. Thanks for listening wherever you listen to your podcasts. Girl on the Internet also has a YouTube channel if you want to come watch the video version of me hanging out in my little podcast chair. Girl on the Internet podcast over on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care of yourself. See you with a new episode next time. Bye, guys.